What's going on, everybody? So I'm going to give you guys a quick little look at some of the top best day trading stocks that you can possibly trade. So if we are looking at it from a big macro picture here, okay, we've got to really break down and get into the nitty gritty on as to why we're choosing these stocks to day trade. This is going to be highly argumentative. When it comes to what stocks to day trade, everyone has their own little forte, meaning that some people like to trade small cap stocks. Some people like to trade financials. Some people like to trade EV stocks. Some people like to trade mega cap stocks. Some people trade the futures. Some people trade just the indices, which is the triple Qs, the SPYs, the IWM, the diamonds, this, that, and the other. But when you ask me what my personal opinion is, regardless of account size, so I know there's a lot of people out there, maybe you guys are starting out and you're just trying to wet your feet and get your beak wet with day trading, and you don't really know which stocks to day trade. In my personal opinion, if you have a small account, I don't believe in that you need to trade stocks that are low dollar stocks, meaning $10 stocks, $20 stocks, $50 stocks. If you want to get a bigger piece of the pie, get more bang for your buck, I would highly suggest learning a strategy first and foremost. Second of all, I would highly look into investing into yourself, meaning getting your mind right. Trading is not about what type of stocks that you're trading. You can trade a small cap stock and you can trade Amazon. When you put your real money on the line and those emotions start to rush over you, it doesn't matter what stock you're trading. You're not going to know how to react if your mind, for one thing, is not in check. So if you have, let's say, a smaller account, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, you can't obviously go buy 100 shares of Tesla or 100 shares of Facebook or Amazon, but maybe you can buy 100 shares of a small cap stock. So should you trade small caps? In my personal opinion, I would stay away from small cap stocks. One reason being is that the IWM, which is the Russell 2000, and a lot of small cap stocks, they've been in their own bear market. So unless you want to short these stocks going lower, there hasn't been a lot of wiggle room. Okay. Now, if we get into the second point, then we start looking at stocks that are have high short interest, the next stock to squeeze, what stock is going to be the next pump and dump, pretty much, what stock has all the hype and the momentum. That's a completely different ballgame. If that's your forte and that's your game, looking for the stock that, that $20 stock that's severely oversold and you think you're going to get into it today, hold it for 2 months and you're going to make a shit ton of money, that's a completely different ballgame, and this video is not for you. This video is for someone who's looking to come in, sit down at the desk each and every single day and look for stocks to day trade ranges. When you're looking for stocks to day trade on a daily basis, you want stocks with an average true daily range of at least 3, 5, 6, 7 points up and down, meaning that you're going to be able to find these pockets of resistance and these pockets of support and play in between those levels. Now, if you're looking at, let's say, a $17 stock and you tell me that, well, it's been trading in a range, I know that when, it comes down to XYZ indicator, it's going to bounce and it's going to go back up to XYZ resistance. And I can trade those pockets perfectly fine. You're not wrong. But the thing is that if you're trading like a $16, $17, $20 stock, that average true daily range might be $1. So you might be going up and down 10, 20, 30 cents in a day. And if you can only afford to buy 20 shares, 50 shares, even 100 shares, you're talking about making $5, $10, $20 on a stock. Not to say on a trade, not to say that there's nothing wrong with that. You can definitely grow your account, but there's also stocks that you can trade that are going to give you a bigger true daily range. And if you want to get your feet wet with those, I would highly suggest learning how to play options, buying just naked calls, naked puts, betting in the direction and into the momentum of the particular stock. You can get these fairly cheap, and you can play all of the big dogs on the market, meaning you can play the Teslas, you can play the Apples and the Facebooks and the Amazons with $1,000 account, with the $500 account, with the $10,000 account. You can grab one contract. I would highly suggest anyone just starting out in options, please only start off with one contract until you perfect your strategy and you perfect your emotions to the best of your ability. But like say something like on Apple, you can get an at the money, which means just right outside the current stock price, or in the money, or just right outside the money, which means that maybe $1 or $2 outside of the current stock price, for $50 to $150 on a stock like, let's say, Apple. You know Apple's not going to crash overnight. You know that these stocks are going to move with institutional money flow because there's a lot of institutional funds and big bankers and big Wall Street traders that trade these stocks on a day-to-day basis. So that's going to be my first stock, looking at a stock like Apple. Okay. Today, Apple, let's see, Apple's daily range from 178.07 to a high of 180. We're talking about a $2 range on Apple. So if you were to play options and get an in the money, at the money options contract, and you get $1 move in your favor on that one options contracts, that's going to move pretty significantly. Not a lot. I'm not saying you're going to make thousands and thousands of dollars doing that. But if you can identify moves on an intraday basis, you can make $50, $100, $200 here and there. Another stock that I would recommend is a stock like Microsoft. Microsoft today put in a range of 339 all the way up to highs of 344. So we're talking about a $5 move. You find a pocket, you use a strategy, you implement your rules, you can make money day trading these stocks. One contract on Microsoft is going to cost anywhere from $150 to $400 for in the money, at the money, right around the current stock price. Another stock that I would recommend to trade would be a stock like Facebook. Today, Facebook put in a range of 341 all the way to a high of 349, 350. So you're talking about a 7 to 8 point move. And if you just break that down on, let's say, like a 5-minute time frame, and we just look at today's price action, we can see here right at the market open, if you were to say, let's play a strategy breaking pre-market highs, and if that confirms those pre-market highs, get long on the stock, you could have essentially entered into Facebook at around $348, and it put in a initial 5-minute candle to 349. So you got just about over a point move in less than 5 minutes time. If you look at it to the downside, if you were to play Facebook to the downside, breaking these pre-market lows, you could have got into the stock price at around $345. Came down all the way to lows of 342. There was more money on the short side of this play. You got a $3 move in your favor. If you were to buy one options contract in or at the money, just for example, and you get a 1, 2, 3 point move on that contract, you're talking about 20, 30, 40, 50% move on your initial investment. If that contract is costing, let's say, $200, you could have easily made anywhere between $40 and $80 depending on the move. And we're talking about in 5 to 30 minutes. If you take a look at a bigger stock, like let's say something like Tesla, Tesla's contracts are going to trade anywhere right outside the money between $700 and $1,500 a contract. If we just take a look at the market open here on Tesla right off of the opening bell here at 6:30 put in an initial opening range all the way down to around 1086. If you were to take this on the short side, meaning you buy a put option on the short side on Tesla, this put in a move from 1086, 1087 all the way down to 1063. So we're talking about over 20 points in the money. Obviously, if you're going to be trading a little bit smaller size, you're not going to be able to buy right in the money, at the money. You might want to go a little bit outside, maybe 2 to 3 strikes outside of the money. Let's say you buy 10 points out the money and this moved 20 points in your favor. Cross cancel out the 10 points that you're working with outside of the money. This would have been in your contract's money 10 points. On a stock like Tesla that moves very violently and very, very fast, this contract would have been up hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So again, I do not recommend someone just starting out, and especially if you're playing options, to start with Tesla, but I would definitely start with Facebook. I would start with Microsoft. I would start with AMD. I would start with NVIDIA. I would start with Apple for sure, 100%. And then I would start with your indexes, the SPY and the triple Qs. Guys, I hope that helps. If you want to join my Discord and join other like-minded traders, that link is down in the description box below. Also, leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and drop me a comment, and I will see you guys all in the next one.